Good evening, Reds. Welcome to the pre-match build-up. Man United kick off their Carabao Cup campaign against Grimsby Town tonight at Blundell Park. We was all expecting some form of rotation. Amorim has provided that, but I still think this is a very, very strong team. So let's just go through it together as we always do, Dan. Onana starting in net, which is interesting. Is he now the cup goalkeeper? We'll discuss that. We've got Diego Dalot at wing-back, Fredrickson, Maguire, Aiden Heaven, and Dorgu as your back five, back three, whatever you want to call it. KOBBIE MAINOO starts in midfield alongside Manuel Ugarte. Obviously, MAINOO's been in the headlines recently. And your front three is Amad Diallo, Sheshko, and Mateus Cunha, which is a very, very strong front three. On the subs bench for us, we've got Bayende, Heaton, De Ligt, Diego Leon, Casemiro, Bruno, Mount, and Bumo, and Xerxes. That's a very strong bench as well, I might add. Yeah, just give us your overall thoughts on the team, and then we'll go through them as individuals from goalkeeper to front, as we always do.
Yeah, we expected at least half of the team to be rotated. So that was really expected. Yeah. But I think the formation looks, the players who are playing in, Ahmad, to what we see, and we, picturize him as a kind of a right wing back, and he's playing on as a right winger, if I'm not wrong. So, just changing that position itself, not giving me that confidence. But again, let's see, it's kind of a trial thing for us. But let's not, let's not burst this bubble for now.
No, it is Grimsby, so I think the majority of people would be expecting a win, but you never quite know with this team, do you, Manchester United? So, goalkeeper, let's start there. I think that's probably a good base. Andre Onana starting in net. I actually thought, when we did the preview, I thought he might have gone with Tom Heaton or something, because it just seems to be something ongoing similar to the Højlund situation, where he just doesn't want to play Onana, even though he's fit for whatever reason. What are you making this whole situation? And if you was the manager, would you lean more towards Bayende, given the performances, or would you still be sticking with Onana as your number one?
We have seen like both of them have done kind of a similar kind of mistakes. But when it comes to saves, I think Bayende has been more kind of flexible in saving. So on that sense, it'll lean towards Bayende. But anyhow, both you have to rotate both of them, because Onana is quite a big character when you are comparing him with the Bayende. So I think it's going to be a trouble at some point in the season with Amorim having some decision to make, like who is going to play on majority basis. So also I think it's kind of, we have so many issues at this point with the midfielders, with the strikers and the players going out. And with the goalkeeper as well, we are not able to find the right price for Lemons. So I know it might happen anytime. We just believe that it might happen. But with Galatasaray in the race, I think it's going to become more tough on that side. So I'm just kind of getting the sense that we are going with Bayende and Onana for this season. So I think that's where it stands. So I think for first 5 to 10 games, I think Amorim will take it as a moment to decide like who is going to be the main goalkeeper. So that's why he's giving both of them chances on this.
For everyone just joining us, welcome. Hello, guys. Let us know your thoughts and feelings on the game. Steph going early saying, decent team, we just need to score early. And random guys saying, I'm absolutely gutted Onana's playing tonight. Amorim most likely demoted him to be a cup keeper, which is smart from him. Yeah, it probably is. He's too... The thing is, with both of these goalkeepers, right, you have Bayende, who on corners is arguably the worst goalkeeper I've ever seen. Genuinely, I'm not being sensationalist there. I think he probably is the worst, at least at Man United. He is. He's terrible. He's flappy. He's like a school kid in net whenever the corner's getting put into the box. So that's his big thing. And also, he seems a little bit nervy at times as well at the back. But with Onana, he does massive mistakes in huge games, like the Champions League campaign. We all remember it. I don't need to go through the kind of individual incidents, but both of them just do not fill you with confidence at all. And if they don't fill us fans with confidence, you can only imagine what the players are thinking. But the players in front of the goalkeeper, Dan, we've got Fredrickson, Maguire, and Aiden Heaven. Fredrickson's an interesting one, isn't it? Because when he came into the team last season, it was like no one had really, well, at least I hadn't watched him that much. I hadn't seen much of him. I hadn't really heard of him. And that kind of out of nowhere, I think he played his first game against Wolves as one of the right-sided centre, and he looked quite good. I thought he looked really composed. Didn't really give anything away. We were talking about mistakes with the goalkeeper, no kind of errors, no nerves. He seemed like he fit quite in nicely. So I'm excited to actually see him again. What did you think of him? And whilst you make your thingy of him, I'm just going to swap my cameras over because the battery's going to die, I think. So yeah, Fredrickson, Maguire, Heaven at the back. Talk to me, Dan.
Yeah, I think he has. Talking about the back three with the Fredrickson, Heaven, and Maguire, just like kind of a combination of the experienced players along with the players who are so young and just building up their character in the team. So I think that's a mixture of those things. So, but particularly talking about Fredrickson, he's 20 years old and kind of showing good character at this point. And we have been so lucky with having kind of that range of players. I mean, the age-wise, 18 to 20 years old players with high potential, as you can see with the players like Heaven also. So this will definitely add up us for the future. But with you have seen that the confidence is there. That's something different for us to see that the young players that are coming from the academy have a lot more confidence as compared to the already existing players. So that in itself is kind of good to see that players with less experience and less age are showing more character and more confidence when they are on the pitch and playing for Manchester United. So I think we have been. I still remember the years where we used to cope up with Maguire and Lindelof. So for a few years we have been with them, and now we can see that we have loads of centre backs with experience as well as so many young players coming up. So it's very good thing for us. So with players like this, they're definitely going to be a giving heavy competition to the players with the experience in the team. So I think it's very good platform for them also to show their skills and talent.
Yeah, Harry Maguire captains the team tonight. Obviously, had the captaincy originally stripped off him and given to Bruno Fernandes, and has played a lot better since. Not much pressure when you're playing, I was going to say Guernsey then, when you're playing Grimsby. So it's not like, you'd expect it to kind of affect his performance, but you still look for leaders in that team because there's quite heavy rotation. Heaven's young, Fredrickson's young, even MAINOO, even though, he's a talented boy, he's still relatively young. Ugarte's young. So having that presence and that stature at the back, I think obviously is quite a positive. And one question I wanted to ask you actually about Harry Maguire is, I think he's coming into his last year, right, of his contract. Would you extend that?
I mean, yeah, because in the last year we have seen totally different Maguire we have seen last year. So I think he is kind of a good player to have on the bench and to build. To have that the character in the team. We have never seen him any moaning about his chances or stripping off his captaincy. So I think that character we need in the club. So in that sense, I would keep him. And at times we have seen that he has stepped up when we are lacking the defenders. So he has stepped up and come up as the from the bench and given more kind of a solid wall at the back. So I think Maguire. I know that we have been criticizing him a lot, and rightly so, because he was not up to the mark of what was expected from him. But in the last, 12 odd months, we have seen a total different Maguire, and he's improving and showing. He looks more solid in that back three as well. Yeah. So I think why not we can have another player whom we won't be putting in money rather than go out and buy someone when we have a player like him. And I never thought like I will be saying so many good words about Maguire, but you can see that how he is playing, that has reflected and changed our thoughts on him.
But it gets to a point with Maguire where it's like, are people just going to slag him off just for the sake of it? Like, he's done decent. Yeah. He's been good for us for as long as... he's had the odd game where you've gone, I'm not too sure about that. But especially with being in this back five, I think that really, really suits him, having those youthful players either side of him, whether it's him playing with Euro, Heaven, whoever it is, strong, quick centre-backs. So you've almost got that protection if you want to step up forward into midfield and kind of play, which I think suits him. Obviously, those long passes as well, switches of play, I think he's very good at. One thing I will say is the start of the season and pre-season, I think De Ligt, for me, seems to be better now in that role. Initially, I went with Maguire because I thought Maguire was performing, but De Ligt, especially in the Arsenal game, I think it was, and even Fulham as well. He was really, really good, and I think he is the future now in that centre back role when Maguire will play a bit part, that experienced figure who comes into the back line. But it's mad, isn't it? Because when you compare it with Aiden Heaven, who's alongside him, Aiden Heaven cost. I'm not saying he's going to be a better player than Maguire, but Aiden Heaven cost £1 million, and Harry Maguire cost £80 million. It just shows, doesn't it? Like if Heaven grows into the player that Ineos think they're going to be, you don't have to spend shitloads of money on a centre back, and that's a bargain, that, isn't it, for Aiden Heaven? From what we've seen so far, obviously still needs to improve on certain things.
Yeah, that was supposed to be changed in this regime. We believe that this is going to change in this regime, where we can see that not spending that much of amount on the players and bringing them in, and rather than spending some efforts and some amount there in the youth system and bring out a player who worth more than that amount when it be after 4 or 5 years. So I think rather than generate, rather than bring in. So that should be the motto of this regime. We have already seen that how much we are, kind of investing on even on not only from the, homegrown players. Also, we are buying players who are very young from outside. So they also cost like very few $1 million. So I think that's going to be key, and they are building it for the future. So that's where we can see that we might not be spending. I know that we have spent quite a heavy amount on the forwards that was needed in this season. But if you see on the defenders side, we can see that you are bringing in the players like Heaven, Fredrickson, and few more players who are well capable of being somewhere around the first teamers. So I think that's the way to go forward as well. Hope we can replicate that thing when it comes to the midfielders as well as the forwards, where we can generate players from the academy so that we don't spend outside. And because now we have seen that the trend for the last 10 years, we can see that the Premier League proven players are required in this team. So when you go for Premier League proven players, then you have to kind of invest a lot. But if you're getting players from outside of Premier League, then that means you are taking a risk of paying a lot, and you don't know whether that player will work out or not. So rather than thinking about all these things, if you are having players in the youth system, then that will be kind of a more safe for us in terms of money, and we can invest more wisely. And we have already seen that is becoming a part of this club and investing on the youth players.
Yeah, spot on, Dan. I completely agree with that. Sam saying, last time we were in Carabao Cup second round, we got twatted 4-0 by MK Dons. Thanks for that, Sam. Appreciate the confidence, mate, just before the game. Random saying, by the way, some good news. Grimsby's, are you pronounced that? Is that why I'm saying it wrong? Grimsby. It's supposed to be. It says Grimsby's. That's why I pronounced it wrong. Grimsby's star number 9 is not playing tonight. I couldn't even tell you his name. Random. Also, Grimsby are really good on set pieces. Thanks for that as well, Sam. Appreciate it. Just putting all the negativity into the chat.
So that's why we are not playing Binder.
Yeah, probably. T2 saying, in all seriousness, Onana must be absolutely delighted with MAINOO. He's slipping under the radar completely. Yeah, MAINOO's taking all the spotlight, and Onana's kind of away from it. I get that. Let's dive into the kind of the midfield and the wing backs then. Diego Dalot starting at wing back. Now, I didn't see Fulham's second goal, Dan, but apparently Dalot was a huge part of that, because obviously I was in work, so I couldn't watch it. I don't know if you remember it or anything that happened, but I can already imagine what went on in my head. It's just doing Diego Dalot things. Do we not need to seriously take a look at him and maybe offloading him and selling him? Because he's just not that guy, is he? Like, he works really hard, he tries hard, but he does the same things every year, and we're still waiting, and he's 26 now, I think, Dalot. Turns 27 soon.
Yeah, he is very young. But not the standards of United. If you see, if you're competing for the high level, if you're competing with the top 4, then I know that the age is less for him, like kind of his prime years, to be honest. But it's still not.
He don't have a prime. He won't have a prime. He'll just stay the same.
His personal prime years. But we have still not seen him as a kind of a game changer at this point. And you have seen that in the last game. When I saw he was coming on, I was very depressed at the moment. And then again, he made a mistake on that one. And that I'm not sure why the managers are not seeing that, because you know that from the last year even we have been pinpointing that position for a long time, where we can see that Dalot is not that much effective, though he is working hard, passionate about it. So those words are not going to work out here, and will not bring you or win matches here. So I mean, Dalot, I'm not sure how long will he be there in the team, but definitely not up to the mark of Manchester United level. So definitely we have to move out of him. So I mean, to be honest, in the future, we all will agree on that position. We will go only for the Ahmad Diallo to take that place. But when Ahmad is not in that position, then definitely Diallo is going to take that place, because we are not sure that even for Mazraoui last year he was taking the place of that back three. But now in this season, how his place is, I mean, how manager is going to use him as a centre back or the wing backs, we'll know once he's available. So, but coming back to Dallo, I mean, if there is an opportunity to sell him, we should be getting off him. But then again, you need players on that place to replace him. And also, one of the major positive thing for Dalot is that he's available 100%. So that's one of the key, I think, characteristic for Dalot to be there in the team. So that's what the manager is thinking about, maybe. But again, it's not up to the mark of United level.
Yeah, they say availability is the best ability, but is it? Is it really? If it's Dalot, you know what I mean? I'm not too sure about it. He's one of those squad players you're like, it's okay. Yeah. But you don't want him starting every single game. And you think, well, he's not really a wing back, because even though he does have a good cross in him, we don't see him get forward enough offensively. And then you think, well, he's not really a right back in the back four, because he can't mark the back post. He's not amazing 1v1. He's not really one thing I look at with Diego Dalot and go, tell me one thing he's good at. You can't. Nothing comes to my head when I think about that. Yeah. So it just tells you he's not the standards as Man United, as you would say. However, on the opposite wing back, we have Patrick Dorgu, who's starting. I thought Diego Leon would have started this game. Why not give him a chance? You're against Grimsby, right?
Yeah. I think he should have been getting chance at this, and maybe I think he's on the bench maybe at some point if we are getting so many goals. I mean, if you are scoring a couple of goals, more than, 2 to 3 goals, we may see Leon today. But yeah, this could have been a better position better platform for him to be featured in, because we know that Diego Leon, we will need him down the line in the season. So we will need him, and that competition that can be built only when you are giving these players a chance in these kind of games, and then only that competition will be developing there. So, but yeah, again, he is young, but he doesn't look young when it comes to when we see him playing. Though his age is less, but the hard work and the physicality is totally different. So I think at some point we'll see him. Maybe manager is kind of controlling his game time to not to expose him fully with the 90 minutes. But at the same time, you know that we need competition at that place, and he's kind of tank, that what we call him. So and also he can be even, I think he was in preseason, he also played on the right hand side. Kind of a right wing back role. So at some point he was shifting the places, so he looked decent on that place as well. So why not? He can also give competition to Dalot as well. So a good player to have who can play on either side of the wings. So down the line, we don't know, with the history we have with the injuries, we will definitely need players like him. So definitely we'll see some moments of him tonight, I feel like that.
Yeah, completely agree with that. I like both options, to be honest with you. I think Dorgu's really improving, and I think Diego Leon, another one who I don't know how much we bought him for, but it weren't much, was it? Like a couple million, even if that, max 1-2 million. So again, could turn out to be a really good signing. Reminds me a little bit of Antonio Valencia, just South American, bit of a stocky build, bomb up and down.
Fighter.
Fighter, absolutely. Craig Unicorn saying 6-0 to the good guys. If it's 6-0, Craig, I'll do a shot on the review. I'm a V10 engine, says Glad and Mbumo isn't starting. That's interesting. For what reason, if I can ask V10? The Cunha, Sesko, Ahmad line is going to go off. Yeah, I have to admit, I do like that. I do really like that forward three. Sesko, Cunha, and Ahmad can cause problems. The thing is, I think about that is now, though, I think, well, you've got... as much as I like Ahmad at wing back, I don't think he started this season great. I think he's been all right, but I don't think it's been the levels that we saw Ahmad last season, for example. And I'm thinking, is that going to be a problem? Is Mbeumo and Ahmad going to work as that pairing, as your right wing back and your right sided 10? Because so far, I'm kind of like, I know it's early days. I know we're only a couple of games in, but do you see that dynamic working between those two?
Yeah, I think the chemistry is well because in the first game, I think Ahmad came on from the bench, looked decent with combining with Mbeumo. I think he came on, right? Ahmad on the first game. Yeah. So that connection looked well. And even the last game for the first, though we call it the famous 20 minutes, he looked well while combining with Mbeumo. But you can see that here and there, their connection is building really well with both of them on the right side, creating a lot of trouble when they are on the top of the game. So I think that can work out really well. With Ahmad, we can see that he also is very well contributing when it comes to defense. So I think that pair of Mbeumo and Ahmad will really work out if given like 3-4 games continuous on that side, both of them starting together. So I think that's not going to be a problem, and only will improve on the right side.
Yeah, I agree. Let's just pivot slightly back to the midfield because we've got Manuel Ugarte and KOBBIE MAINOO starting. KOBBIE MAINOO, we could discuss for obvious reasons, just in the headlines everywhere at the minute, and not for good reasons. Manuel Ugarte is someone who, for me, he's the one Ineos signing where I'm like, no, didn't get it right. You think £50 million that we spent on him? At the time, I was like, I was looking at our midfield situation under Ruben Amorim, and I think we all kind of agree you need someone in there who has the volume of Ugarte, let's say, for example, can put fires out in wide channels, really does that defensive dogged work really well. But then on the ball, you need someone like MAINOO's ability, let's say, for example, or even more so, someone on the ball who's really, like Gravenberch, for example, or someone like that. You need someone really good on the ball, which is why they want Carlos Baleba. Ugarte, for me, is just no way near good enough on the ball. And you can see why PSG got rid of him, because they've got Fabian Ruiz, Vitinho, and João Neves. Who they got João Neves for £50 million, by the way. So they got João Neves for £50 million, and they sold us Ugarte. And I'm like, could we have not?
Different levels,
You know what I mean? It's different level completely, in it.
Yeah, it's always been with United that when we buy a player who is kind of well known in the market, and we spend a lot on those players, and when they come in, we are not even getting kind of 25% of the returns that we, kind of actually pay for them. So that's Ugarte is one of that case, and I really believed in the starting when we bought him. Like I thought like we bought him for cheap, and that the image that was built in for Ugarte was that he's so high and he will be kind of a future for United, and kind of a very strong.
But there was glimpses, all right, Dan. Like you think, there was a period last season, I want to say between maybe November and February, where he played at Anfield as well, and he looked quite good on the ball. He looked quite good as well. So is it a confidence thing, or do you just think he's not?
The bits and pieces are there. The ability is there, but it's like it's very inconsistent. Discipline-wise also, we can see that every game here and there he gets the yellow card, so you know that he's going to cause a trouble. And whenever he gets the card, and that again his gameplay changes to be more kind of on a back foot, rather than he is known for just go and just kick the player out. So that kind of gameplay he has, but every time it doesn't work out, so you have to hold back a little. So that thing is missing in Ugarte, and the discipline is not there, and the consistency is not there. That is causing us to have a different opinion on him. But we have seen bits and pieces here that he can really be well alongside a very good midfielder. But again, then the expectation with Ugarte is that it's kind of a leader kind of an expectation, but it seems like he's not up to that level of leadership, or being in whom we can depend in the midfield. So you cannot be inconsistent while playing as a midfielder and also kind of the main role in that team. So that's where we are not. I'm unable to get that confidence on him. But when he came on, I was really happy to have him, and kind of like after so many years we got that kind of a midfielder, but then it's just not have been up to the mark. So I mean, hope it works out. But I mean, for the bench role, we still continue to be keeping him. But again, he has to, I mean, show character and at least push for the first team position.
Yeah. Craig the Unicorn just put a really good stat in the chat. He's put 11 months ago, the last time Bruno Fernandes didn't start in the midfield in the Carabao Cup, we beat Barnsley 7-0. Same thing happens today. So we'll get into score predictions and what we expect. Some people seem really negative before this game. Some people seem overconfident. Maybe it's somewhere kind of in between. But yeah, the last thing on the midfield, MAINOO is the obvious talking point at the minute. I know we've gone back and forth a little bit in the WhatsApp. And again, same question to everyone in the chat. What do you make of this whole situation? The prices that's being quoted. Apparently there was a meeting with his agent today about his future. The Bruno Fernandes situation in there. Like, can he wait a year and then grow into the role? All those kind of dynamics involved. What are you making of it?
Yeah, I think I'm just trying to read out today's quotes. So I feel like that has gone in a way that MAINOO is staying, because the meeting might have already been happened. And if it has happened, then if MAINOO had said like I want to go, then he wouldn't have been part of the starting lineup. So I'm kind of trying to figure it out. With the data we have. But at the same time, it's really kind of hurting to see that MAINOO is on that discussion of he's leaving the club or he wants to go out. But and the price quote was very bad. I mean, 40 million. You can't quote 40 million for MAINOO. Even you see players going, going for 30, 35 million who are not even worth 5, 10 million. So, and in this era, you are, quoting MAINOO for 40 million is very bad. Very bad. If you would have quoted somewhere around 80, 90 also, that could have been, kind of a more soothing for us to hear that. But also it hurts to see the situation. But at the same time, from the player's perspective, you can see that he has high potential and he has shown he has winners games who are those games, very important games against Liverpool. The performance against Liverpool. So, the players should be on the very next, the choosing point of the team. Even if he's not in the starting 11, at least he should be as a 12th man in the team. But he is not being selected, then definitely with that potential, he'll be definitely looking out. And with that 20, his salary is so low, man. At least increase his salary. It hurts.
He must be sat there, right? Kobbie Mainoo, looking at the midfielders. Mount on £270,000 a week. Casemiro on £300,000 a week. Bruno Fernandes on around £300,000 a week. Ugarte, I'm sure, is probably on a decent chunk of change, about 200 grand a week, 150 grand a week, and he's on 20k. And you're like, okay, now. So I think to be honest, given the way he played, especially under Erik ten Hag, he probably deserves somewhere around 150 grand a week. I think that's probably fair, especially for the talent that he's going to be and he's going to grow into. I think that's like I take no issue with that whatsoever. And Kobbie doesn't really strike me as a player to jump for massive fees. Like, I want 250 grand, 300 grand. It doesn't strike me as that type of guy.
Yeah.
He's humble. He's staying quiet. He could easily be doing what Alejandro Garnacho was doing at the minute. Like, any chance he gets to put a fucking Instagram story with something stupid or a little emoji on it, he'll do it. Kobbie isn't like that. I'm sure Kobbie loves the club. He probably just wants to play football. In which case, you can't blame the kid at all. One difficult question I'll ask, and I asked the same question with Bruno, and just to preempt this, I love MAINOO. I want him to stay. I don't want him to go. So just remember that. But if you was going to buy a midfielder tailor-made for Amarin's system, would it be Kobbie Mainoo?
Sorry, repeat the question.
So if Kobbie Mainoo was on the market right now, let's say he didn't play for Man United.
Okay. Oh, if we buy a player
if you're going to buy a player specifically for Ruben Amarin's system, you wouldn't buy MAINOO, would you? Based on his qualities as a player.
No.
So this is the difficulty now. Yeah. Where does he fit in, Dan?
Yeah. To some extent, I feel like he can fit in the role alongside a proper DM. A strong DM, and alongside that MAINOO, if he's given little bit of license to go ahead and do his things, because you have seen that he is very much effective when he's playing on the final third. So that's where you can maybe improvise to have a proper DM and then with MAINOO. But then again, the question is then where will Bruno Fernandes fit in? So when the question comes in between Bruno and MAINOO, you know the answer, like who is going to be the chosen. So I think that's causing the trouble. So maybe the thing coming out like it's always between Bruno and MAINOO. So that thing might have put him off, because you know that Bruno, anytime he's available, he'll be on the pitch and he'll be starting. So in the main games, at least in the League games, apart from this EFLs. So that's where he might have been. MAINOO might have been thinking like for this season, especially until Bruno is here, he will not get the chance. And especially with this system, I still feel that it's not the system for a MAINOO thing. Maybe in the second half, when you are changing the kind of formation here and there to to cope up with the match, so game tactics, then at that time he can be usable. But from the starting of the game, I don't think MAINOO has a place in this formation.
Do you know what? All this talk, and you're right in what you're saying, because Amarin's system is very, very specific, and you need specific individuals in there. I get that, I understand it. But, you know, when you see the football like MAINOO, you think, fuck your systems, fuck all that structure, and you got to have this player here. Just play football, man, and have decent footballers. KOBBIE MAINOO is an exceptional footballer. For a 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid, everyone was talking about him after the Euros when he's starting in the semi-final and the final. There was a situation ongoing, which you'll remember yourself, with Conor Gallagher and Trent Alexander-Arnold, and who's going to be that midfielder in there. MAINOO goes in, and he's starting at 19 for England in huge semi-finals, finals, being trusted in there. That doesn't happen if you're an average. I mean, even Adam Wharton wasn't getting in the midfield. Adam Wharton's incredibly, like, a really good footballer, and MAINOO was ahead of him. So there is a huge player there, and I think it would be such a massive, one, disappointment, and two, just really, really like gut-wrenching if you got rid of someone like him. Because let's be honest, McTominay, you know, people will go back and forth on that or whatever, but went to Napoli, has done extremely well, academy player gone. We got news earlier today that Alejandro Garnacho is going to be sold for around 35 million, which I think is a fucking joke, by the way.
Yeah, that's very bad. Yeah, 35 million, for a player, I know that his character is not that, professional, but the playing side of it, for the left winger role, he's kind of on a top 10 in the Premier League, at least top 10 being very kind of a big line. You will definitely choose Garnacho if you are seeing in the Premier League players. So, at least 60 million would have been a right price for him. Maybe if we are quoting 60 million somewhere on, if you finish 55, that would have been a real good thing. If you are getting Garnacho from Chelsea to United, definitely you're going to pay 70, 80 million minimum.
50 plus easily.
Yeah, that's where the players, Garnacho and KOBBIE MAINOO, both of them, you can easily, if it is Chelsea, they can easily get 140, 130 million out of Garnacho and KOBBIE MAINOO.
Yeah.
So why not? You know that the player is very much eager to go out. Then why not? The ball is in your hand. You just have to quote a price. And if it is not working out with 30 million, 35 minutes, you can just put it. I don't care about 35 million. You just make the player stay. And that's the thing. Yeah. But with KOBBIE MAINOO also, again, same thing. If you're not able to fit him in the formation, then definitely quote him somewhere around 70, 80 million. If he wants to go, then definitely it can work out. But I know that if he stays here, he will definitely get some minutes or some chances in the 11 there at some point of the season. And maybe if this system is not working out, don't know. I just don't want to speculate it. But if it is not working out, maybe a new manager at the mid of the season, or if Amorim agrees to change the formation, if it is go back to the back four, definitely that will create one extra position in the midfield, and definitely MAINOO will have a place in that. So it's all over the place at this moment, but it feels like the buying team, the player buying team and the player selling team are totally different. It feels like because the buying team looks good this season at least, but the selling team is not that great. I don't know whether they are the same or they are different guys, but the character looks different, so the approach looks different. So I hope we get a good amount for Garnacho at least, and KOBBIE MAINOO if we are able to keep him, and at least kind of comfort him to stay at least 1 year, so we can see like what the future holds for him.
We'll come back to Garnacho in a second. Just some quotes coming in from Ruben Amorim on KOBBIE MAINOO. He said, I think he's playing in one position. He's fighting with Bruno. They can play together. We need to improve that position, and you can see it against Fulham. On what he expects from MAINOO, he says the same as every player in that position. I expect a lot from KOBBIE. People think that sometimes you need to just give. I think it's important for KOBBIE to fight for his place. I believe a lot in KOBBIE, more than everyone thinks. So he probably sees a player in there, but let me ask you this, and again, we will move on to the attack because we've spent quite a while on this midfield situation. But what do you do then? Do you drop Bruno for KOBBIE?
That's the question. Whenever Bruno is available, Bruno will be on the
He's
team.
going to play,
so
guaranteed.
He's the captain, man. He's the captain. You cannot drop the captain. So I mean, it's not right way to put in the thoughts in the press. I mean, saying that MAINOO will be compared with Bruno, because you know that everybody knows, at least 95% of the crowd knows that Bruno is not Amorim will not drop him. But that again, even for MAINOO, when he hears this thing, he will think like Bruno will get all the, I mean, kind of every time he will be starting Bruno, and then what's the point for me to be here? I'll not get the minutes here. So I mean, you can at least change the, I mean, you, even though you think that, but you can, I mean, put that in a different way on the press. I mean, or you can put it in a different way outside. So I mean, it's going to cause, I mean, summarize everything. If you see the root cause, the Bruno position is the root cause of this. You know that even in this system, even I feel personally that Bruno playing in that position is not the actual position for him, and we are not getting much out of it, because I mean, that is causing so many problems, kind of become a chain reaction. So I mean, I'm not a fan of Bruno playing in the midfield, to be honest.
You could argue, Dan, all of the midfielders that we've got don't suit this system that we've got. Like Casemiro, he hasn't got the legs to play that. Ugarte isn't good enough on the ball to play that position. Bruno Fernandes isn't good enough off the ball physically from a tackling perspective. You know, he can cover distance and stuff, but he's not that physical player who can get stuck in. He's good on the ball as well, but again, he's not a great ball carrier like a Declan Rice, for example, from box to box. So that doesn't really work. And then KOBBIE MAINOO, the recovery runs, the athleticism again comes into it. Doesn't really suit it. So you've got four midfielders there who all valued probably around, but we bought Casemiro for 60, bought Ugarte for 50, Bruno's probably worth 80 to 100 according to Saudi, and KOBBIE's probably worth 60, 70 million. So you're talking 200, 250 million pounds worth of players, none of them suit the midfield. None of them.
Unable to solve one position problem.
Honestly, fucking nightmare. And I don't think it's going to change. I genuinely, I don't think they're going to buy a midfielder this summer. So I think we'll have to stick with it, which is, again, it's going to be another full season of talking about that midfield, unfortunately. So with that in mind, we'll move on to the attack, and then we'll get predictions and read a few more quotes out and stuff. Benjamin Šeško starting his first official game. He couldn't really see much of him. He's played 40 minutes, but when he came on, he was kind of, didn't really get the ball a lot. Yeah, it was kind of like, you can't really see that. But Amad, Cunha and Šeško, excited about that?
Yeah, I mean, you know that the chances will be created from the wings with Cunha and Diallo. You know that he will create chances and he will chuck in the ball inside the box, and that's where we wanted a player like Šeško in that place, and we have been missing that. In the very first game of this Premier League, we saw that position was totally empty. The forward, the striker position was totally empty, and so many balls coming inside, and nobody was there to finish it off. So I think Šeško, I hope that in the last game he would have started the game, but again when he came on, that we already were in the mess, and nobody knows how the game was going on. So I think this point should be kind of a good platform for him to play, because a team with less less importance, and also with Diallo and Cunha, I think both of them are a creator, and with Dogu also will be all over it to chuck in crosses inside the box. So today we can see a good, how we can see the real Šeško at this point more than the last two games. So with Cunha, you have seen that he has been a threat in each and every moment when he has the ball. And the pace is there. With Diallo, you know that the skills and the space, everything is there in Cunha and Diallo to provide for Sesko. So, but the only thing I'm concerned about is like how creative we are from the midfield, because maybe KOBBIE MAINOO can take that role of a Bruno to, I mean, kind of spray passes towards all these forwards. But Ugarte, I'm not sure how much, I mean, how much that support he can provide to the forwards. But yeah, I think you can see overall the attack looks really solid.
And also, we can't get too kind of overzealous with it, because it's Grimsby in it, the League Two team. So if we perform really well, I could always see the reaction after the game. Oh, MAINOO and Ugarte work together and blah blah blah. You know,
yeah, this can be delusional. Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying? We've got UTFR in the chat saying, I really hope KOBBIE doesn't leave. We should be building out team around the likes of KOBBIE. Realistically, MAINOO would cost 70 million plus. I agree. And does anyone, if you would have sold him at the time when he was in the England team, get to semi-finals and finals, and just won an FA Cup and scored in the FA Cup final, if you would have sold him at that point, I think you're definitely getting that kind of money, like 80 million easy, or you should be doing it. If Adam Wharton's being quoted for 70, 80 million pound, why can't you get 70 to 80 million for KOBBIE MAINOO? For me, simpler. Does anyone expect us to keep a clean sheet tonight? I'll ask you that question, Dan. Do you expect us to keep a clean sheet?
United clean sheet. I think yes. In this game, we can keep a clean sheet, because I mean, this lineup of defense give me more confidence than, I mean, with the young players. I can bar Diallo. I think the others are kind of looking very solid. Especially with the opponent, we can see that the attack, we are not expecting that much attack. But if you are good in defending the, the dead ball, then I think that we would be maintaining a clean sheet.
Yeah, there you go. Dan's told you we're going to keep a clean sheet. On the Carabao Cup, Dan, just the last question. How bothered are you about it, and what's the real expectation to win it from our perspective, do you think?
I mean, winning Carabao Cup will take us anywhere. I mean, in Europa League is FA Cup, right? FA Cup will lead you to Europa League. I think, yeah, I mean, but still have a good... kind of a competition to, have a option to win it, at least trophy. So I think, but not that much importance as Premier League and FA Cup. But on a side note, to give chances to those players who are not getting chances in the Premier League games and the FA Cup games. So I think for those players, you can use this platform to give them chances. So what we have done, kind of 4 or 5 players who will not get maybe the starting position in the Premier League games, they are playing now. So I think that this Carabao Cup, you can use it for those players to keep them happy, like you are still part of the team.
Yeah, absolutely. The B team is the Dallos of this world and the Onanas. Me and Sam made a point yesterday about like cups. Really, we've been winning cups even when we've been shit for the past 5, 6, 7 years or whatever, and there hasn't been any real kind of significant progression in the league. I would take a top 5, 6 finish right now over a Carabao Cup. I know that sounds mad because people love trophies, and I get it, because that then would show me concrete evidence that you are cementing yourself amongst the top 4 in the league. That there is, because that's 10 places, 11 places above that you've gone. So it's a clear sign that you've improved as a team and you're competing with the big boys. That to me would mean a lot more than a Carabao Cup trophy. But you've got to be in it to win it. I'm not saying I'd purposely go out of it. But for me, the priority has got to be the league this season. It's got to be competing with teams near the top. Absolutely, hands down. So,
yeah, definitely. If it is the option is between EFL Cup and the kind of European qualification next season, then definitely it's going to be European qualification.
Yeah, absolutely. Amarin on Benjamin Sesko said he's doing really well. He just needs to do his job. The small things, the way he plays is enough. We just have to put the effort in and the ideas that we train for this game in a normal game like you're supposed to do at United. He said, Amarin says, we always need to win in this kind of game, and then you have to look at the performance. If you ask anyone if we should have more points, I think everyone would agree that is the most important thing. I'm not too sure about that. People think you should have points. No, you should have points. That's the more important thing. Of course, the results dictate a lot in football, but sometimes it's just a victim of having 2 opportunities in the beginning of the game against Fulham, and then the narrative changes. So we just need to focus on our job. We did some things against Fulham that we need to improve today, so I'm really focused on that. It's not just winning. It's not just going to the next stage. It's about preparing for the future, and I expect a lot tonight. Sure, you fucking should do, really. Given the team that you've put out, I mean, that is a strong... Cunha, Ahmad, Sesko, MAINOO, Garte, Dorgu, fucking Dallo, Onana, Maguire, Heaven, and Fredrickson against Grimsby, and you were expecting a lot. No shit, you should be doing. Do you know what I'm saying? Preppy in the chat. I think we've got a Grimsby Town fan in the chat. So yeah, I'm guessing so. I don't know. He says up the Mariners, so I think he is. But yeah, welcome Preppy if you are a fan. Good luck tonight. Set pieces. If you want to score against us, that is my advice. That is what I would do. Just put it in on top of the goalkeeper. You'll probably score, mate. Yeah. Right. Let's do 4 things to keep an eye on then, Dan, for this game. What's going to happen?
I think Sesko scores and KOBBIE MAINOO, man of the match kind of a performance. Ooh. Yeah, okay. And I think we will score a header goal.
Yeah, I think so.
And I mean, kind of we'll see 4 to 5, 4 plus corners. I think if I'm a manager of Grimsby, I'll tell my players to don't focus on going inside the box rather than go towards the corner and get the corner.
Yeah, agree. Anything else you want to chuck out there?
Yeah, I mean, United keeping the clean sheet.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go Man United. I did go 2-0 in the preview, but I'll up it 3-0. 3-0 to United. Heaven or Maguire to score a header. Cunha to score or assist. And then one of their defenders to get a yellow card. I think that's what I'll go with. Yeah.
Straightforward.
Yeah. I was going to say go and enjoy the game then. Hopefully you will enjoy the game. Hopefully we are not doing a review. It'll be me and Sam after the game doing a review, talking about Grimsby Town knocking us out on penalties or something. I can't imagine.
Oh man, can't see penalties in this game.
Oh my God, no! You've got to put in with a team like that. That's embarrassing. I'll struggle to come online me after the game and discuss a review if we get beat by Grimsby. I really, but with a team like that, you've got to go and smash Grimsby. I'm not even talking like you go there and you win 1-0 and you keep a clean sheet. Like you've got to go and lever them to 3, 4, 5, and then you can be like, well, you know.
One thing I would like to, reiterate what Amorim said after the last game. Like once we scored the goals, we are trying to maintain that. We are trying to not to concede rather than going for the, kill.
Yes.
And that's what it's needed. Yeah. Just once you score a goal, then don't, come back, but just try to look forward and try to score more goals to keep, because we have never been, good at maintaining a 1-0 or 1 gap lead.
Yeah. Completely agree with that. Right, let's go watch the game then. Like I said, me and Sam will be live after it. If you could be so kind to leave a like on the video for us and subscribe to the channel, would really appreciate it. Keep an eye on all our socials for the up-to-dates on the game, the post-match reaction, the quotes from the interviews and stuff. It'll all be on our socials, Instagram, X, and check out TikTok as well. Appreciate Dan for coming on. I'm sure we'll be speaking in the WhatsApp, and we'll see you guys after the game.